Hey y'all, what is up? I am Amber P.
I'm Alexis Nicole.
That was delayed. And we are going to the Olympia again. Alexis is qualified. I'm going to put like some cheering
Yay!
sound effects.
And I'm even wearing my shirt.
And she's wearing her shirt. If you are watching on the tube, you can see she's got her Olympia shirt on. Y'all get your Olympia tickets. I went on the website last week. I was like, okay, let me see, add it up. What's the cost? Because I got to get my button VIP because I need to be up close. I need to see what's happening because
Yes.
this is going to be such a good Olympia. Go ahead. You just tell us. Go off. Talk to us.
So it was great. It was a long trip. It was a country I've never been before and didn't quite know what I was getting myself into. Um, but the show is extremely well ran. Um, the production was amazing. Those spinning platforms were really cool. But yeah, it was great. And we won. So there's no air conditioning in Portugal, like at all, which you didn't know going in there. It's very hot during the day, like high 80s, 90s. But then luckily at night it does cool down to like low 70s, high 60s. So that was good. We created a very good system with using the fans of like where we put them and all of that. Um, but our apartment was like in this really cute neighborhood. It was walkable to like some bakeries and stuff. Um, we were like 10 minutes from the gym and 15 minutes from the venue. And then the venue was actually like right on the beach. So like after the show, we just went and walked around. I guess you would consider it kind of like a boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we went and got food. Portugal is very well known. Well, the main food that they use in like Lisbon is a lot of fish. And y'all know I don't really like fish. So I tried a few things. We did find this like Portuguese Brazilian style steakhouse the last night that we were there. That's probably my favorite food that we got. Um, but it was a really cool experience, a really cool country. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So, how was walk us through like the flights? How did that go? How long did you have to like? I know you had to jump on.
So we left on Monday afternoon. I took the rest of my meals for Monday with me. And then all of my Tuesday meals with me because we wouldn't land until Tuesday afternoon. They're 6 hours ahead, so it was like 20 hours of travel. Um, but we ended up our flight from here was at 3:30. We landed there at 2:30. So because of the time change.
Mm-hmm.
The first leg, we flew from Houston to Amsterdam, and it was like 9.5 hours. Um, very hot, so that's what started the heat.
Tough.
There's no vents above us, and just with that big of a plane with that many people, it gets hot. So I ended up like sitting. We had kind of like exit row seats, so I ended up sitting like in the floor facing my seat because the heat was like getting trapped into me. Shirt tucked up into my bra. Like I luckily I had shorts on, but I was so hot.
Mm.
Um, I did have my suit in my backpack. So once we landed in Amsterdam, we had like a 4 hour layover. Luckily, the tickets that we bought also included the lounge. So I took a mini nap in the lounge because I didn't get any sleep on the flight.
Yeah.
Took airport bathroom check in photos for Boss, which he was happy. And then our next flight was only like 2.5 hours. So it was short. And we landed in Lisbon. We got a car. Um, a small car this time so it fit on the roads because the roads are super tiny there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then once we got to the Airbnb and got settled, it was like 4 p.m. And then we went and got the training session in. Um, and like just in the gym doesn't have heat either, but that helped. I was definitely holding water when we landed, but then going to the gym, moving around, training, sweating, I woke up like super crispy and dry on Wednesday morning and
Hmm.
was like a new low of like 144, I think. And then it just kept trending down from there.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I
it was um a lot, but it like the peak went extremely smooth. Um Even especially with all of the um variables that we like couldn't account for.
mhm,
Um but it went really well.
that's awesome. So I am someone that struggles like when it's just perpetually hot. I'm not gonna hold you. I told you like when we went to Chattanooga, that was like the smallest plane I had ever been on in my life.
Oh
So that
yeah.
already was like daunting. And granted, super short flight, maybe an hour 15 minutes, but it was so hot on that plane. I thought I was going to come on undone. So 9 hours and then getting somewhere and they don't have any AC, I'm not sure if I would have been able to handle it.
Yeah, it was certainly it's more like you just couldn't get away from the heat.
Yeah, you can't
So
escape
like
it.
I was drinking plenty of water, so I was going to the bathroom decently often. The bathroom, I think, because it was like an enclosed space, was cool. So I'd like splash myself with water in the face. Luckily, I did not get any like acne or anything because I was like, I'm gonna have to use pimple patches all over my face. Um, but yeah, overall it was good. Um, but I do have a little bit of a cold. Yesterday I was hoping that it was just like some just like exhaustion from not getting much sleep because I get like 4 hours a night in Portugal.
Yeah.
Because we'd stay up all day and like be up late exploring, and then I still couldn't sleep in because I'm still in prep.
Hmm.
So um, my sleep's not completely back, but I woke up this morning. I'm still like congested. I have like some drainage in my throat, some nasal congestion and stuff. So boss just said like just
Yeah.
like
Chill.
don't train. So I haven't been back completely yet. Um, but we're surviving.
I hear you. Surviving and thriving. That's what we want. So, with the whole heat situation, tell them about the tan.
Okay, so the tanning, we ended up. So I paid for 3 coats of tan. I knew that it wasn't pro tan. We took pro tan with us in case I needed to paint early. Um, but um, when I went to check in, I still hadn't gotten any email about my tan. So I asked at check ins, and they were like, there's actually a booth in like the main part of the gym. You go, like, you could do your photos and all of that. Um, so I went over, and he was like, yeah, so we have wellness scheduled for 1:30 on show day. And I was like, what? Um, but it makes sense. So like they did all of the layers of tan right before I went on stage, but it makes sense because you can't if I had have slept in my tan, I would have melted it off just from sweating. Even though like it got down to the 60s, it was hard to cool the apartment off completely. And then like you've got covers and stuff. Um, so yeah, so I got my tan at like 2. It took like an hour and a half almost, because I needed 3 layers, and you had to stand in front of a fan to dry, obviously, but it was just hot and humid, so it took longer to dry. Um, so I got my layers. I got 2 layers. Martin came and looked at me, said I needed a third. Got my third. Immediately had to put my suit on. So I was like trying to work it up really gently.
Yeah.
Um, Put my heels and stuff on, and then went and got glaze. And then we stood backstage for like an hour or so before we actually went on. So like I was on my feet for a long time, really like over 2 hours between the tan and then standing in heels backstage.
Yeah.
And then the way that they had it set up, each division went on, did everything completely all the way through awards, and then the next division would go on. So, yeah, that
Delish.
tanning experience was definitely interesting, but it also washed off very easily, probably because it wasn't on me for over 24 hours.
You didn't cook.
Um, so, I mean, like, I had some color the next day, but it's not like, not even to where, like, there's no, like, patchiness because it
Yeah,
didn't,
like it
like,
doesn't have like that
absorb.
normal splotchiness to it.
Yeah.
Hmm, fair. That makes sense. That totally makes sense because I was curious about that as you were talking about it. I'm like, okay, how do they work it out? I mean, obviously they have a system. They've been doing this forever, but I
Yeah.
really like how they have a division. They compare, you do your routines, and then boom, we go ahead and do it right then and there. I just feel that is so much more practical and smoother. And I get like from the show's promoters, like, this is just like Amber P thoughts. I get it. They split it up for money, but I just have the mindset of charge me what you want to charge. I don't care. Let's get it done. So that way we don't have this awkward lag. Your family's not looking at you like, what are you about to do? Because they think you're free as a bird. You can go do whatever. It's
Yep.
like, no, man, let's get it done. You already know who won.
Yeah, so like I do like the traditional setup of like um prejudging in the morning, finals in the evening, but this setup it went really well. And then like there you'd also don't have to do like, I mean, we were top two, they did a final two call out as the most rounds I've ever been put through. So I didn't have to spend 3 hours like how's it going to turn out? It's just like you go backstage, it's about to happen, so you don't even have any time to like stress about it.
I like that better. I like that way better, but doesn't matter what I like. So you busted out on stage with a brand new suit color, which I think that's my new fave. How'd you feel about like the whole stage, like presentation, hair, makeup, suit, tan together?
So my hair was horrible.
Okay, well, it wasn't horrible. When I saw you on the stream, I was like, she's fine. This like I'm not gonna tell you what I was expecting, but when she was texting me, she's like, my hair's a wreck. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. But then when I saw her, I was like, girl, you're good.
I mean, like the curls definitely fell. It was definitely frizzy. Um, I think like the lighting and everything definitely helped how everyone looked.
Yeah.
uh, Everyone was kind of in the same boat.
Right.
Your hair was either like greasy from the humidity, or it just was kind of like there, or frizzy.
Yeah.
Um, so I curled it. It fell. Next show, Amber will be there, so that won't be a problem, and it won't be humid like that. Which was just a learning experience. I really liked my makeup. The person that I used, her name is Celine.
Great.
I think she goes to a lot of the shows in Europe. Um, she did a great job. It was very efficient. Um, let's see, the suit color. So green, obviously. I wasn't sure when I first got it how it would translate on stage because it does have some blue stones in it, but I think that just helped to like brighten it and give it some depth. So I asked Krista, we've been talking about green since last year. So I told her like go ahead and pull the trigger on it, and I wanted like green family and let her go from there. So she does, that's her expertise. She knows how things will translate on stage. Especially once she's been working with you, she knows how your tan looks on stage, and she can put it all together. And I really liked it. So when I first tried it on at home, I was like not sure because I couldn't see the vision in my head of like once the tan is on and everything. But Krista's never made me a suit that didn't look good. So I knew that I was like, I'm just gonna trust it. I took my pink suit as a backup just in case, but I always take a backup suit in case a connector breaks or something. I have something to either pull from or switch to or whatever.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I really liked the look. Y'all. So my hair is frizzy, and then we do the final two call out, all that. They send us all off stage, so we'd walk off one side, walk backstage, and go back to enter on the other side again. Um, I grabbed a random paper towel that was not mine, that I don't know who used it, and dabbed the sweat off of my face. And these are my behind the scenes gross secrets. And then for awards, I was like, there's no mirrors back there in that area. So I was like, I don't even know how bad my hair is right now. So y'all, I took my hands. We're going on for awards. We're not posing anymore. So I rubbed the oil off my butt and smoothed my flyaways down because I could feel my hair growing. If you're a curly girl or you're a mixed girl, especially, you know that once the hair starts coming alive, you
Just
can feel it and you know that it's happening. And I just knew that that was happening. I knew that like all underneath was just kinked curls at that point. It was not straight anymore. So I just like smoothed it down and was like,
here we
hopefully
go.
it's good.
Yes. never forget one time, Murillo and I don't know what we were doing. We were walking and it was in the summertime and my hair was longer and it was so hot. And he just kept looking at me. I was like, what? He's like, is your hair supposed to get bigger like that? I was like, boy, mind your business.
Oh man.
Like, leave me alone, mind your business. When she told me that, I was like, that is hilarious. However, that is also very resourceful. Speaking of that, a quick stage glam tip because a lot of athletes freak out. Like, y'all, what you got to understand is I don't care who does your hair and makeup, I don't care what is used, humidity will always win. Okay. Like that's the element. Like there, but you know, if you feel like your face gets greasy, like whenever I do touch up kits, I always have a tissue in there for a reason. Y'all don't need to be reapplying no makeup. Take the tissue and just blot.
Yep,
Just
that's all I
press.
did.
Don't rub it. Just blot. It's gonna make it brand new. Keep hairspray or something in your bag because we just artists we're great but we can't fight up against certain elements. Like it is what it is. Like I deal with that in Florida, you know. It's just kind of like some people freak out. I'm like, y'all know we in Florida, right? Like it's August in Florida.
Yeah. In situations like that, like there were a lot, like the heat we couldn't change, the humidity we couldn't change, how long I might be on show, it wasn't completely predictable. So it's just like you just have to roll with the punches and see how it turns out,
Yeah,
honestly.
and like you said, everybody else is in the same boat too. So, you
Yes.
know, it's just one of those things you have to keep pushing through. I just lost my train of thought. I was about to ask. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Sorry, y'all. My carbs got dropped twice, so I'm like, what was I thinking about? Tips for traveling overseas.
I mean, honestly, I didn't do that much different. We did learn from our first trip not to. So our first trip, we were like, we get two bags. They could be up to 70 pounds. So we're like, okay, we'll each take a carry-on also. We'll put the heavy stuff in the carry-on and then like that'll work. No, in Europe, they weigh your carry-on stuff. Um, so that bit us in the tail the first time, and we had to pay a lot of money to check those bags because there was no way we could get them under the weight limit. So this time we just took three checked bags, and then it was less for us to carry around and all of that. Um, so we took extra proteins, and we honestly took enough because Martin's not in prep, so he could eat. And then like traveling and being on his feet so much, he was dropping weight so fast. Boss literally said, "Eat like a butthole. You need to put weight on. Like you're too lean." Um, so we'd had enough cooked protein with us for the whole trip, especially because the my peaking to like or starting 2 days out. So Friday, Saturday is when we started carving up. My protein comes down to literally 30 grams a day
Yeah,
of raw weight. It's like nothing. It's really
nothing.
just for aminos for digestion. So the food that I took in my backpack for the, like I said, I packed my rest of my meals for Monday and my meals for Tuesday. I froze them. I had them in like reusable baggies because that saves space, and then I can use those baggies again once they're empty during our trip. Um, I froze them and put them in my backpack so they were starting to thaw as I needed them, and they were still good by the time we landed. And then obviously the extra protein, the chicken and stuff, we froze and put in the checked bag. And it was slightly starting to thaw, and that's after like 24 hours of being in a bag. But it was still like ice cold, so it was completely fine to put in the fridge and use. Um, uh,
Curling iron,
okay,
socket.
yeah. So I had to get a new. So I have a Babyliss curling wand that is already dual voltage. Um, for your hair, uh, what do you call them?
Tools.
Tools. I was gonna say utensils, and that's for eating.
That's okay.
Um, you can't just use an adapter. I learned that the hard way in Prague, burned up my hair blow dryer. You need something that can, because they fluctuate voltage to keep the temperature of whatever you're doing. So you need a dual voltage hair straightener, curling iron, blow dryer that can function with the different voltage that's there because they use a higher voltage. Um, so I ordered a new straightener. Um, on Amazon, it was like $30, but it's dual voltage so that I could use it over there. And then I didn't get a dryer. The Dyson is actually not dual voltage. Um, but I knew that it would be hot over there. So my plan was either usually Airbnbs and hotels have a hair dryer there.
Mhm.
And if they didn't, I was just going to let it air dry.
Yeah.
Because that also, it would have probably only been like $30 on Amazon also, but then I would have had to have that space in my bag. And they were definitely packed to the brim.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
like point either exactly 50.0 or like 49.6 pounds,
Hmm.
um which we did good job with. And then like we use Elevate Cream of Rice. I use that for peaking also, so we took bags of that with us so that I would have enough. um but obviously like we ate through that, so coming back we had room in our bags for stuff that we brought home. I got a new coffee mug because I always like to get one of those, a magnet for the fridge, um and then obviously my trophies and stuff, and then just random stuff that we bought while we were over there. We had enough room to get it home.
That's something that I don't ever think about either, like traveling, especially if you're going somewhere like overseas like that. Have to think about, oh yeah, there's probably going to be things that I want to pick up when I'm there. So it's like you kind of have to like, okay, either we're getting another suitcase or can you leave some wiggle room somewhere? That is definitely important because there's like little trinkets and things that you might want.
Yes, exactly.
So now, post show plans. What are we doing? What's happening? What's the
All
move?
right. So I told you I put on my Instagram post several days ago when I was posting about the show, to listen to our next podcast to see what we're doing. And we are going to Texas Pro next. I live here. Prep's going to keep going anyway because they're only 13 weeks out from the Olympia, or 12 now. Um, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm going into an off season either way. So we're doing Texas Pro. That's 4 weeks from yesterday. I say we because Amber's coming with me.
I'll be there. I'm so excited.
I think she gets, what's your flight, Thursday?
Thursday. Hmm.
Yeah. And then I compete Friday. We'll have Saturday to hang out, and then she goes home on Sunday. My family is also coming, because the Olympia is crazy expensive and they can't afford to go every year. So they're going to come to Texas instead. They'll get to also like come and visit my house and stuff. So it'll work out really well. Um, and I think we're going to do a new suit color again there. Well, a new suit,
Hmm.
a variation of a color.
Hmm.
Um, Amber and I have already got a plan for the hair and makeup, and that's what we're getting ready for next. So, in Europe, the show was on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I ate off plan. I didn't follow my meal plan.
Absolutely.
Um, that was fine. Boss knew that. And then yesterday, when I sent check-ins, I was like 3.5 pounds up.
That's nothing.
And then today I'm 3 pounds up. So like it's starting to trend down already. And that's only with one day on plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just like first of all, overseas their food is cleaner than ours, so there's that. And then you are walking around so much, it's hot. Like yeah, your body was just blowing through all of that. So that's
Yeah.
you're in a really
And
good
their food
place.
is just like it digests way better. Like you'd eat and then you go to the bathroom. And you'd eat and you go to the bathroom. And it's not sitting on your stomach. Um, which so coming back, we had like 2 hour layovers. We flew to Paris and then Paris to, I cannot think of the name of this airport. I keep wanting to say St. Louis, Missouri, and it's not. Um, Starts with an M.
I'm no help. I'm sorry.
We flew somewhere. Um, but our layover to go through customs and stuff, once we landed in Paris, we
Hmm.
ended up having to book it to our flight. And then that flight was like 9 hours. We landed wherever we landed. I can't remember. Let me look. Now it's going to drive me nuts. Um, Y'all, I had to go to the bathroom, but our second, Minneapolis.
Mm.
Um, Our second flight had a lot of turbulence the last hour, so I couldn't get up, and I knew if I got up and made it to the bathroom, I wouldn't be able to poop anyway. Um, but then we were in the back of the plane, so then we had to wait forever to get off the plane, and then we had to hustle to get we that airport, a US citizen coming back into the US, it was like jumping through hoops. Like Martin's passport wouldn't scan at the little thingy, so then he had to go over and stand behind all these people who didn't have their paperwork and stuff to get into the United States. So he started making a fuss because he was like, I'm priority and I'm an American. Like, I just need someone to scan my passport.
Oh,
I don't have to give you any extra papers or anything. It just the machine wouldn't scan it.
yeah.
Um, and once he got through, then we had to haul tail. So we had to go down an elevator, get on a bus, drive to the other terminal, um, find our no, yes. It was crazy. So by the time we got to our gate, we had like 13 minutes, luckily, before they started boarding. And I was like clenching my butt, y'all. I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but there was we had to get to the gate and I was just gonna have to keep holding it if they were boarding. Like we had to get there and make sure we had time before I could just stop. But I texted Amber and I was like, I literally almost just pooped my pants. Which I was so glad the digestion was going well, but I'm like, ah, I haven't been in a position like that in a while.
Stressful, impeccable timing. I'm glad that didn't happen because that definitely yeah, that wouldn't have been fun at all. However, she's back home, she's safe, she's made it, she's got to recover, and I think that was all I had to ask. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Um, I don't think so. It was a pretty awesome show.
Yeah.
Really cool experience being over there. Um, Europe is amazing. Oh, I guess the only other funny thing I think, um, the plane was so hot on the way there. Our layover in Amsterdam, I was wearing a t-shirt like this, like kind of an oversized t-shirt. I took that off, bought an Amsterdam tourist t-shirt in one of the shops, had Martin rip the sleeves off.
Ooh.
I was like, if I buy a shirt, can you rip the sleeves off? He was like, yeah. So I did, and he just was like, whoop, whoop, and that's what I wore the rest of the way. And it
I love
helped because I was so hot. I was like, let me just use my resources. I need something.
it. Yeah, cause ick. Oof, oof, oof. Well, I cannot believe we are like 13 weeks out from the Olympia.
It's crazy.
I'm like, how did we? This year has flown.
It's it took so long to get there, and now it's just flying.
I mean, we're a little more than halfway through the year already. It's nuts. So, y'all make sure if you're going to the Olympia, get your tickets. If you're going to be at the Texas show and you see us, please, please, please come say hi. We love chatting with you. Is your posing schedule open right now or?
It is. I need to update it and put a little bit more availability now that I know our travel situation.
Yeah.
But yes, posing is open. I am taking prep and off-season clients. Prep, I say loosely because there's not many shows left.
Right.
So it would be very particular on who could actually prep at this point
Mm-hmm.
with a brand new coach. But I'm still taking clients, so email me, message me on Instagram, whatever.
Yep. And coming up next for me, I've got Masters Nationals, which this will be up by then. I had two athletes cancel, so if it's still available and you need glam, and this is going to be for the day of fit model bikini and wellness, I won't be there for figure and women's physique. And then after that, Tampa Pro, I've got space for Tampa Pro. I've got a little bit of space for Texas. North American Championship is booked up for Bikini Wellness Fit Model, but I do have a couple of spots available at North Americans for figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. And that's it. Yeah. And then
Um,
moving on to September, I have no show travel in September because I have to get on stage at some point.
and then are you still taking clients for Texas or no?
Yeah, yep,
Okay, so if you're coming to Texas or you're doing the amateur show there, the pro show, you need hair and makeup, Amber will be there. Book her in her link in her bio.
yep. I'm only going to be taking on just like a few athletes though, because obviously I need to watch the show. So I won't be able to do like my full normal situation. But all of that will be in the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be down below in the description. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.